We are learning more about a report by the Office of Education Accountability that says the Rowan County School Superintendent and high school principal violated state law while hazing went on amongst their football team.
The Trump campaign responds to accusations of plagiarism by Melania Trump during her speech on the convention stage. I'm Kenneth Craig in Cleveland with reaction coming up.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. Bill Bryan and Barbara Bailey here reporting. We are falling into a summertime pattern for sure over the next several days. That includes a lot of heat and the possibility of afternoon storms as well.
And that says summer, doesn't it? WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center now with a look ahead. Micah.
It's been a really nice looking day till now, and now we're starting to see those clouds build on in. It's still pretty nice outside, don't get me wrong, but now you're starting to see the clouds build in. Could we get an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm? It is possible the rest of the afternoon. Not likely, but it is possible. And those temperatures are sitting there in the mid-80s as we speak. 86 degrees already in Lexington. We'll finish off in the upper 80s to lower 90s through all locations. More than likely, Lexington, we're going to be there in the lower 90s, and that goes for Frankfort. If you're in the mid-80s, 84, 85, 86, you'll be there right around 90 degrees. If you're a little bit less than that, you'll settle up in the upper 80s like Somerset, Jackson, and Prestonsburg. So afternoon, upper 80s, lower 90s. A small chance of rain is with us. And you could have a pop-up shower thunderstorm. This is your summertime pattern that we're going to be watching for the next several days. I want to show you the heat index, the way it feels when you step out the front door and walk outside. This is Friday off into your weekend. 100 degrees on Friday. Saturday, look at that, 102 in Danville, 103 Monticello. I mean, you're showing up. Look at the I-65 corridor. We're there in the mid 100 or 106, 105. I mean, this is some big time heat heading our direction. And those 2 days aren't the only days in our 7-day that actually have that. I'm going to discuss that and really focus in on that coming up in a few minutes.
See you in just a few. Thank you.
A state report has found evidence of hazing within a high school football program in eastern Kentucky.
State investigators uncovered evidence of upperclassmen at Rowan County High School targeting younger players, causing injuries to some of them. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is in Moorhead now with the latest on that, and it is our top story at noon. Hillary?
Rowan County School Superintendent Marvin Moore says they're working hard to move on from this report. It is a report that says both he and the high school principal violated state law. According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, the Office of Education Accountability report says Moore and Principal Ray Ginter failed to investigate allegations last fall and failed to provide a safe school. Superintendent Moore releasing this statement today saying, quote, "We always put our kids first and take any concern very seriously. Both Dr. Ginter and I provided documentation showing that we had addressed each of the concerns in question. This was a personnel issue that we addressed as soon as it was brought to our attention, just as we always do," end quote. The OEA report, according to our news partners at the Herald Leader, found that younger players on the high school football team suffered concussions at the hands of older players, and that the parents reported that the culture of the team resulted in other injuries, beatings, and hazing. The report states that about 20 players, primarily freshmen and sophomores, received concussions during the 2014 to 2015 season and the 2015 to 2016 season, with the majority of those head injuries happening during practices, primarily inflicted by upperclassmen. Now, Ray Graham was the coach at this time. He was hired back in May of 2014. We talked to Coach Graham right before the 2015 season kicked off for a story about concussions and helmet safety.
I think it teaches life better than anything. I think in life, you get up one more time, you get knocked down, you're a success. Football is a game where you're going to tackle and block and you're going to end up on the ground.
Now, Graham's contract was not renewed for this upcoming season. Meanwhile, Moore, Ginter, as well as all coaches and athletic directors must complete 3 hours of safe schools training. In Rowan County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you very much. WKYT News reached out to Graham's attorney for a comment. We have not heard back.
Opening statements have come to an end, and now testimony is underway in a high-profile murder case in Lexington. Police say Matthew Donahue stabbed his boyfriend Todd Schumacher to death in a home on Lamont Drive in January of last year. WKYT's Mark Barber is outside the Fayette County Court Complex now with the latest on the case. Mark.
This morning, the court heard testimony from police officers and firefighters who worked the night Todd Schumacher was killed. As they described finding his body in a bloody bedroom lying on a floor, his accused killer, Matthew Donahue, listened quietly. There wasn't any emotion visible on the 21-year-old's face as officers described how they found Schumacher lying on the floor in a home on Lamont Drive last year. Police think he was stabbed up to 70 times. The prosecution went on to play an audio recording of a conversation between Donahue and police. In it, the 21-year-old blames his boyfriend's death on a couple men who broke into their home. Donahue later said he stabbed Schumacher in self-defense. He claims that the man was trying to strangle him after he told the 40-year-old he was going to leave him. Today, the prosecutor and the defense attorney are focusing on witness statements that describe how Donahue acted and what he said the night Schumacher was killed.
He was, I guess you could describe it as almost shock.
Okay.
But just scared, basically.
When you were talking to him, you said his eyes were closing. Was he, doing this, didn't want to look at you, or was he kind of, slow wing? What was it?
The second.
The judge thinks Donahue's trial will last 2 more days. He's not eligible for the death penalty. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And Donahue says he thought about killing himself after he discovered Schumacher was dead. Police say they found a message written in blood on the wall that said, quote, "Please send Matt and Todd to heaven." New at noon, police are hoping surveillance video will help them catch the man who robbed a Central Kentucky Kroger store. It happened on South Main Street in Nicholasville early this morning. This man reportedly approached the teller at the self-checkout line and asked for change for a $50 bill. When the employee opened the cash drawer, the man showed a knife and told him to empty the drawer.
The latest on campaign 2016 now. Melania Trump's speech at the Republican National Convention sparked quite a buzz on social media overnight and this morning.
Now, while the speech was well received in the convention hall, there are now accusations of plagiarism. Kenneth Craig is in Cleveland with that story and a look at what to expect from day 2.
Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort is brushing off criticism about Melania Trump's speech that many say had striking similarities to Michelle Obama's 2008 convention speech.
Well, there are not that many similarities. There are a couple of phrases.
Word by word in a number of places.
It's basically 3 places in the speech, and it's fragments of words.
But critics argue it was more than just fragments of words.
Because we want our children in this nation to know that the only limit to your achievements is the strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
The controversy has knocked the Trump campaign off message at a time when they're trying to focus on the issues. Some people here in Cleveland say this is just a media sensation.
They're blowing it out of proportion. She meant everything she said.
Day 2 of the convention will see the end of the anyone but Trump movement, as the businessman will become the Republican Party's official presidential nominee tonight.
He's excited about the fact that his quest will finally come to an end, and all of you who doubted that he could be nominated will no longer be able to say, yes, but maybe it won't happen. It will have happened.
And the speakers will try to focus on jobs and the economy. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Cleveland.
And the White House has not responded to the controversy. 2 Kentucky lawmakers will take the stage at the Republican National Convention this week. Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell will speak this evening. State Senator Ralph Alvarado Jr. will address the convention tomorrow. And that's Johnson County native Marlena Van Hoos. She kicked off the convention last night with a roaring rendition of the national anthem.
Sounding good up there. Well, Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton was in the southern part of Ohio last night. She's not taking any time off as the Republicans meet. She spoke at the NAACP convention in Cincinnati, where she accused Trump of trying to tear the country apart. Today, she'll be speaking in Las Vegas before attending a fundraiser in San Francisco. The Democratic National Convention is next week in Philadelphia. The former chairman of the troubled Kentucky retirement systems is heading to court to challenge his removal by Governor Matt Bevin. Thomas Elliott sued Bevin for removing him as chairman of the Kentucky Retirement Systems Board of Trustees. Bevin's attorneys say he has the authority to remove Elliott, but Elliott says his term is set by state law and cannot be altered by any governor. A hearing is scheduled on this for 1 o'clock this afternoon. Lextrand will be holding a community meeting this afternoon. They'll be talking about the upcoming sale of its old headquarters and some land around there.
It will be at Lextrand's new location on West Loudon Avenue at 4 o'clock. Lextrand's general manager says they want to make sure the old site will be put to good use. Last year, the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation awarded the North Limestone Community Development Corporation $550,000 to turn one of Lextrand's old buildings into a common market. Kentuckians looking for a warm place to travel to this winter will have some new options. Frontier Airlines is adding 3 new destinations from the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport. The low-cost carrier is expected formally to announce a new flight to Tampa, also to Fort Lauderdale and Cancun later today. Frontier told WCPO in Cincinnati that the nonstop flights to the Florida destinations will start in October, and flights to Cancun will start in December.
Yeah, it's warm enough here right now, here in summertime, right?
Yes.
Keep it on WKYT News. Some chilling new images offer new details on the deadly attack in Baton Rouge. We'll have the latest on the investigation. That's coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, the ongoing feud between Taylor Swift and Kanye West is getting more heated by the minute. How she's fighting back next on WKYT. Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. An autopsy is scheduled today for the former Marine who ambushed police officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana Sunday, killing 3.
Chilling surveillance now has been released describing in detail how Gavin Long targeted and assassinated the officers before being killed by a SWAT team. While authorities believe that Long acted alone, they're still looking into whether someone may have known about his plan. President Obama has ordered flags be flown at half-staff across the country today in honor of the slain policemen. New documents show the gunman who opened fire in Orlando, Florida at that nightclub last month was repeatedly taunted for being Muslim at his job. Records show Omar Mateen claimed he was regularly called derogatory names by deputies and others at the courthouse where he worked as a security guard. Mateen's shooting rampage left 49 people dead and 53 others wounded. He was killed by police. Well, the bad blood between Taylor Swift and Kanye West apparently is reaching a boiling point.
According to TMZ, Swift has threatened West with criminal action over secret recordings he made of their phone conversation about the use of her name in his song Famous. West's wife Kim Kardashian released video of the call on Snapchat, which appears to show Swift approving a line about the two having sex. Swift later went on an Instagram rant saying she did not approve the song and that West had not delivered on a promise to play her the final version before its release. And that's First Lady Michelle Obama getting her karaoke on. Last month, Mrs. Obama taped a carpool karaoke segment that will air tomorrow night on the Late Late Show with James Corden. She and Corden sing several songs together, including the girl power anthem, This Is For My Girls. Proceeds from the tune benefit Let Girls Learn, an initiative launched last year by the President and First Lady to help educate more than 62 million girls around the world.
Hey, looks like they had some fun with that, huh?
I think so.
All right, keep it here on WKYT News.
I'm Phil Pendleton in Pulaski County. At 12:30, police are investigating a break-in at a large Somerset church.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We are looking pretty good outside with just a mixture of sun and clouds, mostly sunny skies in some spots. And we're going to have that heat really start to feel it later on this afternoon, off into the next several days. 85 degrees there in Frankfort. Lexington coming in at 86 degrees. And you can see London, Corbin area, Jackson, all looks well the rest of the afternoon. There is the slightest chance at a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Most of us stay dry. I don't see many issues whatsoever out of that. 30% chance of rain. And that's it. So you got any plans heading out to the pool, trying to get outside the rest of the afternoon? Take off and enjoy. I want you to watch this, though. The next few days, not good rain chances at all. 20, 30%, and that's it. So there's really not much to talk about the next few days. It's more about the heat than anything else as we travel off towards your Friday and Saturday. Look at that showing up on Saturday. If you're not seeing the screen, you'll probably want to see this. 102 there in Danville, 102 in Somerset. Monticello coming in at 103 degrees. Check out your 7-day forecast. Here is your look across the area at 89 degrees today, 88 for tomorrow, and then the heat really cranks up. It's 91 Thursday, Friday 92, Saturday 92. But let me tell you this, and now through about Thursday and maybe even Friday, we're only at 20 to 30% chance to rain, meaning a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, just like your summertime pattern that you would usually expect, that we haven't really seen in the past several weeks. But we're getting into that phase that we're going to be seeing that. Now, Saturday and Sunday, if these storms hold off, then we're talking about 93, 94, maybe 95 degrees. So we're talking about some big-time heat sliding into the region.
We'll just have to deal with whatever.
But it is July.
It
right?
is.
It is.
It's a good old summertime. Thank you, Micah. We're coming back on WKYT News in a moment. A big-time perk for the top seed in the big dance.
And a former Cat gives back in a special way. Dave Baker's next with sports.
And checking stocks as we head to break this afternoon. The major market indicators off a bit.
He was the All-American kid when he was here at UK, and now that his NFL dream has come true, boy, he's the same outstanding young man he's always been. It was great to be able to spend yesterday afternoon with former Wildcat Jacob Tammy and his wife Allison at their annual Swings for Soldiers Golf Classic. This is the 7th year for the tournament. The proceeds build homes for seriously wounded veterans. This year's honoree, Marine Corporal Kevin Blanchard, who lost his left leg in Iraq in 2005.
I spent 13 months in the hospital recovering and 32 surgeries, and you know, I got a prosthetic leg, and so it's ongoing recovery. But it's you know, I have a great support system.
It's something that that we're really proud to be involved with, and more importantly than that, when you talk to the veterans, they've all had great experiences and loved their houses, and it's making a big difference for them.
Among those helping to support the cause, UK Athletics Director Mitch Barnhart, who now has that contract extension that runs through 2022, a recognition of what's been accomplished, but Barnhart believes there's more work to be done.
We've got things we want to finish. We want to get the football program, continue to grow it. We want to get the baseball stadium going, the tennis center going, and then we want to do some things to Memorial and continue to grow those. But at the end of the day, this is our home, and we love being Wildcats.
And at this time yesterday, we were in the middle of the Wildcats' big basketball schedule reveal. But then later in the day, a big change coming for the NCAA tournament next March. The overall #1 seed will be able to choose the location of its first 2 games of the tournament. Now, cities hosting first and second round games next season are Buffalo, Milwaukee, Orlando, Salt Lake City, Greensboro, Indianapolis, Tulsa, and Sacramento. Now, from that group, you might think the Cats would pick Indianapolis, but Kentucky fans, they're going to go anywhere. So UK could potentially pick, say, going to Greensboro. So some other unnamed #1 seed wouldn't have quite the home court advantage. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, recruiting expert Chris Fisher of 24/7 Sports. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Guys, that's a look at sports on this Tuesday.
Buzz, thank you so much, and we hope you'll keep it here.
There's more to come in our next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
A Lexington man who threatened to kill police officers has learned his fate.
I'm Mike Byer in Lexington. Coming up on WKYT News at 12:30, a serious accident happens overnight right here at the Versailles Road New Circle interchange while construction is going on.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $25 million, and tomorrow night's Powerball jackpot is $361 million.